Now, my favorite part is the compression test that we're about to do. We have to put these two pieces together. I would recommend getting this pretty tight on here, because if not, then this can actually become stuck within the cylinder head. So you want to tighten this onto here with a wrench or a crescent wrench or something. Get it really, really tight, so that way it doesn't get stuck within the motor, because that would make for a nightmare to remove. So just an FYI as a little tip. So just realize it would be better to double wrench it. So I have a 3/4 inch wrench, put that on the inside, and then we're going to tighten it with the crescent. Don't want to get it too tight because the compression test kit is made out of brass on that fitting, but just pretty snug, which that right there should be good. Now, just to play it safe, I'm going to get the vacuum and vacuum this out real quick just in case, to make sure that there's no debris stuck from a previous compression test, but I think this kit was brand new when I rented it out from AutoZone. Okay, we're gonna move some of this mess off to the side and then start with the first cylinder. I don't actually know if this is cylinder number 1. I forgot how the cylinders are labeled in order from 1 to 8, but we're just gonna call this our first cylinder we're gonna check out. So we're just gonna put this down into the spark plug hole and just get it pretty much hand tight. I think that's as tight as it's gonna get. Yeah, it's not turning anymore, so that should be good. All right, here we go. This will be our first cylinder compression test. On the very first cylinder, it looks as if we have between 155 and 160. Correction, this is actually 160. I didn't see there's a mark right underneath the needle. So we're at 160 PSI, which is the same compression as my other Terminator Cobra, which is perfect. Hopefully all the other 7 cylinders is the same reading. So we will find out soon. Next, we are going to relieve the pressure and unscrew it out of the spark plug hole. And do that same process for all 7 other cylinders. So on this one, we have, it looks like 162 roughly. Yep. I looked closely and it's 162, 163. So we'll just number it 162. So this one appears to be a hair under 150. It's not bad, but I would actually like to redo this one because I stopped, I think, on the 7th turnover of the engine. So we'll do this one more time. Okay, so this one, 150 on the dot. A little bit less than 160, but that should be within the range from the other cylinders. Let's just hope the other ones are either 150 or 160. Now, I'm worried about this cylinder right here, which I believe that's the one that has the stuck lifter. Let's see what kind of numbers we get for the compression. I don't know if having one stuck lifter and maybe the valve isn't fully closing would cause the pressure results to be skewed. Let's find out. This one actually looks good. This one is a little bit under 150. I'm gonna redo this one because, again, I stopped at turning the motor over on the 7th turn. So I've been doing 8 for the other ones. So I wanna make sure that they're the same. So we're gonna redo this again. Okay, so that appears to be 155. Huh. Interesting. 155. I don't know what I did to mess up on the first one of this particular cylinder, but we're at 155 now. Because I'm in a bit of a hurry before this engine fully cools down, and it's already cooling down now as we work on this motor, I am going to go ahead and take the readings from this side, the passenger side, and I will write all this down on a piece of paper a little later. The cool thing is I have all this on video, so I can go back, look at the video, and find out what my numbers were on each particular cylinder. Okay, so I moved the camera over to the passenger side so you get a better view of what's going on this side. I'm going to start with this cylinder and find out, hopefully, if this half of the engine is good to go. So on this one, we have, it looks to be right at 160. Nice. This one, we are at, I would say 162. Very nice. 2 more to go. If you happen to be watching this, wish me good luck on the last 2 cylinders within the comments, because I don't know what kind of numbers I'm gonna have, because I saved all of this for YouTube, so that way there's the surprise factor, because I know just as much as you guys and gals as far as if this motor is healthy or not. 2 more cylinders to go. Wish me luck. So we got, looks like a hair under 155. I'm gonna call that 153. Last one. I think it's in there. Yep, gave it a little tug. Just make sure it's tight. Okay, last one. Looking good. So on the very last one, it looks as if we are at, I'm gonna call it 152. I don't know if you can see that from here. Yeah, basically 152. The compression test overall was a complete success. The lowest was 150, which was the 3rd cylinder down that way on the driver's side. And the highest was roughly 162, 163. So I'm just gonna look online and verify that that's within range of each other as far as the lowest and the highest cylinder pressures, but I'm almost certain that it is. But I would also like to take the camera inside the car with me and show you what I was doing when I was turning over the motor. And in doing so, I'm going to check compression on that one cylinder that had 150 PSI one more time and just see what we get for the results. Okay, so I have the compression gauge back on the cylinder that read 150 at the lowest, and I'm gonna take the camera and you guys and gals inside the car with me and just show you what I'm doing when I'm turning over the motor in order to get these kind of readings. So we'll go inside right now. So what I'm gonna mess with is the clutch pedal, the accelerator. We're gonna check the shifter and turn the ignition. So what I'll do is just make sure I'm in neutral. I'm gonna push the clutch all the way in. I'm gonna floor the accelerator pedal, which should, I believe, turn off the injectors. I think it's called flood mode. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. And then we're gonna turn, whoops, fix that later. And then we're gonna turn the motor over 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the result is 157. So I don't know why I'm getting all these different numbers, but that's better than 150, so I'll take it. Okay, so I reviewed the footage and I wrote all of my compression numbers on a piece of paper. And from what I saw, the lowest number was 152 and the highest was 162. I went ahead and did a quick Google search of what percentage the lowest and highest cylinders should be from each other in order to still be healthy and not have bad compression. And what I found from Google was that within 10% and you're good to go. So I did the math, and 152 and 162 was within the 10%. I believe it was within 6% of the lowest and the highest numbers, but I'd have to go back on my calculator and verify. But regardless, it was good to go. Not to mention, I was getting mixed numbers when I would do 7 turns of the motor, and sometimes I would do 8. I don't know why I kept going back and forth, but if I had to do it over again, I would do minimum 10 turns per cylinder just to make sure that I'm getting every extra little bit of compression on all cylinders so I have more accurate numbers. And of course, I would do this as soon as the motor is fully up to temperature. I think me setting up the camera and all of that could have let the motor cool down and also gave me slightly lower numbers, but I'm not going to go and do this all over again just to get 10 turns of the motor on each cylinder, because that would be kind of ridiculous and a waste of time when my compression numbers were still good to go when turning the motor over 7-8 times per cylinder. I'm happy with those numbers. I think I'm going to probably end this video right here, and possibly in a different video we will go ahead and stick a camera down each one of these spark plug holes and look within the cylinders and just make sure that the cylinder walls and the piston tops all look good to go. I'm just taking an extra step to verify, but I'm pretty confident that we are looking good so far, and that may not even be necessary, but I have a camera, so why not go ahead and look inside each of the cylinders and see what it looks like. So you'll have to stay tuned for the next video. I believe that this is going to be a good stopping point for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.